The champagne tasted like humiliation. I stood at the edge of the reception hall, watching my wife Claire dance with Jason Parker from her marketing firm, and something inside me went cold. Not angry cold. Not the kind of cold that makes you do stupid things. This was different. This was the kind of cold that settles into your bones and stays there, calculating. "Tom, you look like someone shot your dog," Rebecca said, appearing beside me with 2 glasses of wine. She was Claire's best friend since college, always trying to include me in conversations I didn't belong in. "Just tired," I said. She followed my gaze to the dance floor. "They work together constantly. You know how it is with big accounts." I nodded, took a sip of champagne, and let her believe I was the boring husband who didn't understand office dynamics. The boring husband who stayed home fixing computers while his wife climbed the corporate ladder. The boring husband who didn't notice when his wife started coming home at 9 instead of 6, smelling like someone else's cologne. The song ended. Claire walked back to our table, Jason trailing behind her like a puppy. She didn't look at me. She looked through me. "Tom, you remember Jason?" she said, smoothing down her red dress, the one I'd never seen before tonight. "Of course," I said, extending my hand. Jason's grip was firm, confident. The grip of a man who thinks he's already won something. "Great wedding," Jason said. "Dave and Michelle seem perfect together." "Let's hope it lasts longer than the average," Claire said, and laughed. It was a sharp laugh, meant for Jason, not for me. "Statistics show 50% of marriages end in divorce, maybe higher in this social circle." "That's cheerful," Rebecca said, but she was laughing too. I sipped my champagne and said nothing. This was Claire's new personality, cynical, sharp-edged, always performing for an audience. The woman I'd married 7 years ago had been different, softer. That woman had disappeared somewhere between her promotion to senior account manager and the moment Jason joined her firm 18 months ago. "Tom doesn't like talking about divorce," Claire said, finally acknowledging my existence. "He thinks marriage is sacred. Don't you, honey?" The way she said honey made it sound like an insult. "I think people should honor their commitments," I said quietly. Jason shifted uncomfortably. Rebecca found something fascinating in her wine glass. Claire smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "How noble," she said. "Jason, want to grab some air? It's suffocating in here." They left together. Rebecca touched my arm, her face sympathetic, and that was almost worse than Claire's contempt. I didn't want pity. I wanted the truth to stop pretending it wasn't the truth. I pulled out my phone and opened the banking app. Our joint account showed a withdrawal of $4,000 from yesterday. The notation read, "Personal shopping." I'd seen the charges before. Nordstrom, Saks, restaurants I'd never been to, always on weekday afternoons when I was supposedly at work. I worked from home. Had for 3 years. Claire forgot that sometimes. I opened my photos and scrolled to the ones I'd taken last week. Claire and Jason having lunch at Maestro's, his hand on her lower back as they walked in. Claire and Jason leaving the office together at 7, getting into his BMW instead of her Lexus. Claire and Jason at the Hilton downtown, going in separately, but only 15 minutes apart. I wasn't stupid. I was just careful. "Tom?" Rebecca sat down beside me. "Are you okay? You seem different tonight." "Just thinking," I said. "About?" "About how people change, how they become strangers." She looked at me for a long moment, and I wondered if she knew. If everyone knew except me, officially. If I was the last one to acknowledge what everyone else already whispered about at parties. "Claire's under a lot of pressure at work," Rebecca said carefully. "The Jenkins account is massive, make or break for the firm. She's been stressed." "Is that what this is?" I asked. "Stress?" Rebecca didn't answer. She didn't have to. Claire and Jason returned 20 minutes later. Claire's lipstick was smudged. Jason had the satisfied look of a man who'd just won a hand at poker. They sat down at opposite ends of the table. but their eyes kept finding each other. I finished my champagne and decided something. I was done being the man everyone felt sorry for. I was done being the punchline to Claire's jokes, the boring husband she'd outgrown, the obstacle between her and whatever future she'd planned with Jason. But I wasn't going to yell. I wasn't going to make a scene. I wasn't going to be the crazy husband everyone expected me to be. I was going to be smart. Monday morning, I called Henry Martinez. Henry and I had gone to community college together before he transferred to law school. He'd built a reputation as the divorce attorney you hired when you wanted to win, not when you wanted to be fair. His office was downtown, all glass and steel and expensive furniture that screamed success. "Tom," he said, shaking my hand. "Been a long time. You sounded serious on the phone." I sat down and slid my phone across his desk. "I need you to look at something." He scrolled through the photos, all 37 of them. Lunch dates, hotel visits, late nights at the office, Claire and Jason at bars and restaurants, receipts from our joint account, text messages I'd recovered from our shared cloud. Henry sat back in his leather chair. "How long has this been going on?" 14 months, as far as I can tell, maybe longer. "And you want to file for divorce?" "Eventually," I said. "But first, I want to know my options. Financial, legal, everything. I want to know how to protect myself." Henry studied me. "Most guys in your position want to move fast. Get out, move on. You seem like you're planning something else." "I'm planning to not be stupid," I said. "She makes twice what I make. She's got connections, friends in high places. If I just file tomorrow, she'll lawyer up with someone better than you, no offense, and I'll end up with nothing. I need to be strategic." "No offense taken," Henry said, almost smiling. "Okay, here's what we do. First, document everything. Every affair-related expense from your joint account. Every suspicious charge. We'll need to establish a pattern of financial infidelity, too. Second, separate your finances quietly. Open your own account. Start directing your income there. Third, secure evidence. The photos are good, but we need more. Text messages, emails, witnesses if possible." "Witnesses," I repeated. "Anyone who's seen them together in compromising situations. Friends, co-workers, hotel staff. If we can get someone to testify that they've seen them behave inappropriately, it strengthens your case." I thought about Maya, Rebecca's teenage cousin, who'd been the photographer at the wedding. She'd been everywhere with her camera, catching candid moments. I'd seen her filming Claire and Jason dancing, talking, touching. "I might have something," I said. Henry nodded. "Good. Now here's the thing about revenge, Tom. The courts don't care about it. They care about facts, assets, and child custody if applicable. You don't have kids, which simplifies things. But if you're looking to hurt her reputation, her career, her relationship with this Jason guy, that's different. That's personal, and personal has consequences. I'm not looking to break any laws," I said. "I just want her to understand what she's done, what she's lost." "Fair enough," Henry said, "but be careful. The line between justice and obsession is thinner than you think. I've seen guys go too far and end up worse off than when they started." "I'll be careful," I said. Henry pulled out a contract. "Retainer is $5,000. I'll start drawing up preliminary papers. Don't file anything yet. Don't confront her. Don't do anything that makes her suspicious. Just keep documenting. Keep separating your assets, and keep me informed." I signed the contract and wrote the check. Walking out of Henry's office, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Control. That night, Claire came home at 9:30. I was on the couch, laptop open, pretending to work on a client's network security assessment. "Hey," she said, dropping her bag on the kitchen counter. "Hey," I said. She kicked off her heels and opened the fridge. "Did you eat?" "Yeah, leftovers." "There's barely anything in here," she said, which was rich, considering she hadn't gone grocery shopping in 6 months. "I'll go tomorrow," I said. She poured herself a glass of wine, her third drink of the night if the smell on her breath was any indication, and sat in the chair across from me. Not next to me, across from me. The distance was intentional. "How was your day?" I asked. "Long. The Jenkins presentation is Thursday. Jason and I were rehearsing until 8. "That's late," I said, not looking up from my laptop. "It's a $50 million account, Tom. It's kind of important." "I'm sure," I said. She sipped her wine, watching me. "You've been weird lately." "Weird how?" "Quiet. More than usual. Like you're thinking about something." "I'm always thinking about something," I said. "About us?" I looked at her then. Really looked at her. She was beautiful. Objectively, undeniably beautiful. Dark hair, sharp cheekbones, eyes that could cut through excuses. But beauty didn't mean much when it came wrapped in contempt. "What about us?" I asked. She set down her wine glass. "I don't know, Tom. You tell me. Are we okay?" "Are we?" I asked back. "Don't do that. Don't answer a question with a question." "Then don't ask questions you don't want answered," I said. The silence stretched between us like a chasm. She picked up her wine glass, drained it, and stood. "I'm going to bed," she said. "I have an early meeting." "With Jason?" I asked. She paused. "What's that supposed to mean?" "Nothing," I said. "Just asking." She studied my face for signs of accusation, but I kept my expression neutral. After a moment, she shook her head and walked upstairs. I waited until I heard the bedroom door close, then opened my email. I'd messaged Maya earlier, asking if she still had the raw footage from the wedding. She'd responded an hour ago. "Yeah, I keep everything." "Why?" I typed, "I want to make a video for Claire, anniversary gift. Can you send me the files, especially any moments with her and her friends, candid stuff?" Her reply came back in minutes. "Sure, so sweet. I'll upload them to Dropbox tonight." I smiled. Not a happy smile. A cold one. The footage arrived Tuesday night. 43 gigabytes of raw video, organized by time and location. I downloaded it all and started going through it methodically, frame by frame. Maya had been thorough. She'd caught everything: the ceremony, the cocktail hour, the reception, the dancing, and she'd caught Claire and Jason. In one clip, they stood by the bar, his hand resting on her hip. In another, they slow danced, his mouth close to her ear, her eyes closed. In a third, they snuck outside together, and the camera caught them through the window, kissing against a tree. I watched that clip 5 times. Then I watched the moment Claire humiliated me at the table, the 50% of marriages end in divorce comment, delivered with that cruel smile while looking at Jason. Maya had caught my face, too, the flash of pain I'd hidden a second too late. I backed up the footage to 3 separate drives and started editing. Not a montage, nothing melodramatic, just the facts, arranged chronologically. Claire and Jason arriving separately, Claire and Jason touching, laughing, dancing, Claire and Jason leaving together, Claire and Jason kissing. The timestamp on each clip was visible, undeniable. I added text overlays. April 20th, 2024, Dave and Michelle's wedding. Married 7 years. This is my wife. Simple. Devastating. Then I made a list of who needed to see it. Rebecca, Claire's best friend who'd defended her, who'd told me it was just work stress. Emily, Claire's sister, who'd always looked down on me but claimed to care about family values. Rachel, Jason's girlfriend, who Claire knew existed but didn't care about. Claire's parents, conservative, religious, the kind of people who'd raised Claire to believe marriage was sacred before she decided it wasn't. And Jason's boss, William Henderson, the CEO who'd promoted them both and had a strict policy about workplace relationships. I wasn't going to send it yet. The timing had to be perfect. Wednesday morning, I opened a new bank account at a different institution. I transferred my freelance income there, about $42,000 from the last 6 months that I'd been hoarding in our joint savings. Claire didn't notice. She never checked the savings account. I also documented every expense she'd charged to our joint credit card over the past year. Dinners for two at expensive restaurants when I was supposedly at work, hotel rooms, gifts I'd never received, bottles of wine that never made it home. The total came to $47,000. Our joint account currently held $62,000. I left it alone. For now. Thursday night was the Jenkins presentation. Claire had been talking about it for weeks, how important it was, how it could make her career, how she and Jason had worked so hard on it. She came home at 10:30, practically glowing. "We got it," she said, pouring champagne. $50 million over 3 years. Henderson loved the pitch. "Tom, this is huge. This changes everything." "Congratulations," I said. She drank her champagne, laughing. Jason was brilliant. He concluded with a story about brand authenticity that simply blew everyone away. You should have seen Henderson's face. "I'm sure Jason was brilliant," I said. She didn't catch my tone. She was too excited, too wrapped up in her victory. "They're talking about making us partners. Both of us. By the end of the year." "Partners," I repeated. "Yeah, can you believe it? Equity stake, everything. Jason thinks we should celebrate. There's a party tomorrow night at the Monarch." "Sounds great," I said. "I'm happy for you." She looked at me then, really looked at me, and frowned. "You don't sound happy." "I'm tired," I said. "It's been a long week." "It's always a long week with you," she said, and the contempt was back. "You know what? Never mind. You don't have to come to the party. Stay home. Do whatever it is you do." She went upstairs, and I heard the shower running. While she was occupied, I checked her phone. She'd left it on the kitchen counter, and I knew her passcode. We used to not have secrets. There were texts with Jason going back months. Inside jokes, comments about me. "Tom's being weird again. He's so boring. Sometimes I forget he's even there." One text from 3 weeks ago. "When are you going to tell him?" Jason's response. "When are you?" Claire's response. "After the Jenkins deal. I need to focus. Don't want the drama." I took screenshots of everything and sent them to my email. Then I deleted the sent messages from her phone. Tomorrow night at the Monarch. That was when I'd make my move. Friday afternoon, I sent the video. Not to everyone. Not yet. Just to Rachel, Jason's girlfriend. I'd found her through social media. She was tagged in several of Jason's posts from 6 months ago, before he'd stopped posting about his personal life. She worked as a dental hygienist, had a dog named Cooper, and seemed like a genuinely nice person. I created a throwaway email account and sent her the video with a simple message. "I thought you should know who you're dating. These clips are from April 20th, 2024. I'm sorry, I'm going through the same thing. A friend." She'd see it. She'd know. Then I got dressed for the party. Claire was already at the Monarch when I arrived. She looked surprised to see me. "I thought you weren't coming," she said. "Changed my mind," I said. "Wanted to celebrate your success." The party was on the rooftop, all string lights and expensive cocktails and marketing executives congratulating themselves. Jason saw me and his smile faltered, but he recovered quickly. "Tom," he said, extending his hand. "Glad you made it." I shook his hand and held it a second too long. "Wouldn't miss it. You and Claire did something really special." "We make a good team," Jason said. "I'm sure you do," I said. I got a drink and positioned myself near the edge of the party, watching. Claire and Jason worked the room together, touching each other's arms, laughing at inside jokes, playing the part of successful colleagues who definitely weren't sleeping together. My phone buzzed. An email from Rachel. "Who is this? How do I know this is real?" I responded from my regular email account. "Tom Brennan, Claire's husband. It's real. Check the timestamps. Ask Jason where he was that night. I'm sorry you're finding out this way." She didn't respond, but I saw the 3 dots indicating she was typing. Then, they disappeared. 10 minutes later, Jason's phone rang. He stepped away from the party to answer it, and I watched his face drain of color. He spoke quickly, urgently, then hung up and immediately tried calling back. The call didn't connect. He searched the crowd, found Claire, and pulled her aside. They had a hushed, intense conversation. Claire's expression went from confused to angry to panicked. Jason looked around the party, his eyes landing on me. We locked gazes across the rooftop. I raised my glass in a small salute. He said something to Claire, then started walking toward me, his jaw tight. "What did you do?" Jason asked quietly when he reached me. "I don't know what you mean," I said. "Rachel just sent me a video of me and Claire from a wedding in April. Did you send that?" "Why would I send your girlfriend a video?" I asked. "That seems like something that would cause problems for you." "You son of a—" "Careful," I said, still smiling. "We're at your celebration party. Lots of witnesses. Wouldn't want to make a scene." His hands clenched into fists. "You have no idea what you've done." "I think I have a pretty good idea," I said. "How's Rachel handling the news? She seemed like a nice person. Shame she had to find out her boyfriend's been lying to her for over a year." "Tom." Claire appeared beside Jason, her face pale. "We need to talk. Privately." "I don't think we do," I said. "I think everything that needs to be said has been said, or shown, as the case may be." "You're going to regret this," Jason said. "Probably," I said, "but not tonight. Tonight I'm celebrating your success, your partnership, your future together. Congratulations, by the way. I hope it's everything you wanted." I finished my drink and walked away, leaving them standing there. Behind me, I heard Claire say, "How bad is it?" Jason's response, "Bad." I left the party and went home. The weekend was quiet, too quiet. Claire didn't come home Friday night. I tracked her phone. She was at Jason's apartment until 3 in the morning, then went to a hotel, the Hilton downtown, the same one from my photos. Saturday morning, my phone rang. It was Rebecca. "Tom, what the hell is going on?" she asked. "Claire called me crying. She said you sent some video to Jason's girlfriend?" "I did," I said. Silence. Then, "Why would you do that?" "Because it was the truth," I said. "Rachel deserved to know who she was dating, just like I deserved to know who I was married to." "You're destroying Claire's life," Rebecca said. "No," I said. "I'm just showing people who Claire really is. There's a difference." "Tom, listen to me. I know you're hurt. I know this is awful. But this isn't the way—" "What is the way, Rebecca?" I interrupted. "Should I have just pretended everything was fine? Should I have kept being the boring husband everyone laughs at while my wife sleeps with her coworker and spends my money on hotel rooms?" "I didn't know," Rebecca said quietly. "I swear, I didn't know it was this serious." "Yes, you did," I said. "You all did. You just didn't think I knew, or you didn't think I'd do anything about it." She didn't argue. "What are you going to do now?" "I'm going to finish what I started," I said, and hung up. Sunday afternoon, Claire finally came home. She looked exhausted, her eyes red from crying, her hair unwashed. "We need to talk," she said. "Now you want to talk," I said. She sat down at the kitchen table and I sat across from her. The same positions as always, the same distance. "Tom, I'm sorry," she said. "I know I hurt you. I know I screwed up. But sending that video to Rachel, that was cruel. That was vindictive." "Yes," I said. "It was." "You destroyed my relationship with Jason," she said. "No," I said. "You destroyed your relationship with Jason by lying to his girlfriend. I just made sure she knew about it." "He broke up with me," Claire said, and her voice cracked. "He said it's too messy, too complicated. He said we need to focus on work and stay professional." I said nothing. "Tom, I made a mistake," she continued. "I got caught up in something I shouldn't have." But we can fix this. We can go to counseling. We can work through this. No, I said. We can't. Please, she said. And she was crying now. Real tears. Don't throw away 7 years of marriage. I still love you, I do. I just got confused. Confused? I repeated. You got confused for 14 months? How did you know? I know everything, Claire, I said. The hotels, the dinners, the $47,000 you spent on your affair, the texts about how boring I am, the plans to leave me after the Jenkins deal. I know all of it. Her face went white. You've been spying on me? I've been paying attention, I said. Something you stopped doing to me a long time ago. She wiped her eyes. What do you want? Money? An apology? What? I want you to understand what you did, I said. I want you to feel what I felt when I watched you dance with Jason at that wedding. When I heard you tell your friends that 50% of marriages end in divorce like ours was already over. When I saw you kiss him outside while I sat inside, being the boring husband everyone felt sorry for. I'm sorry, she whispered. You're not sorry, I said. You're sorry you got caught. There's a difference. I stood up. I'm filing for divorce on Tuesday. I've already moved half the savings into my own account, my half. The half you weren't planning on giving me when you left. You can stay here until we sort out the house. I'll sleep in the guest room. Tom, please. One more thing, I said. The video I sent to Rachel? That was just the preview. I've got 43 gigabytes of footage from that wedding. Claire and Jason arriving together, dancing, kissing, all of it. Time-stamped, clear, undeniable. If you try to screw me in the divorce, if you try to claim I'm crazy or abusive or anything else, that video goes to your parents, your sister, your boss, everyone. You wouldn't, she said. Try me, I said, and walked out. Monday morning, Jason called me. We need to talk, he said. His voice was tight, controlled. Face to face. I don't think that's a good idea, I said. I'm not asking, Jason said. Mulligan's Bar, noon. If you don't show up, I'm coming to your house. He hung up. I sat there for a moment, considering. Jason was bigger than me, younger, probably angrier. Meeting him alone could be stupid. But I was curious about what he wanted to say. I showed up at Mulligan's at noon. Jason was already there, sitting at a corner booth with a beer he hadn't touched. I slid in across from him. This should be interesting. You're a real piece of work, Jason said. You know that? Coming from you, I'll take that as a compliment, I said. Rachel left me, Jason said. Moved out, blocked my number, won't return my calls. My relationship is over because you couldn't handle your own failing marriage. Your relationship is over because you cheated on your girlfriend, I said. I just made sure she knew about it. Don't blame me for your choices. You humiliated me, Jason said. Good, I said. How does it feel? His jaw clenched. What do you want? Money? You want me to leave the firm? What? I want you to understand something, I said, leaning forward. You don't get to have Claire and no consequences. You don't get to destroy my marriage and walk away clean. You made a choice. Now you live with it. You're pathetic, Jason said. Claire was leaving you anyway, she told me. You're boring, Tom. You're safe and boring and she outgrew you. Maybe, I said. But at least I'm not a coward who hides behind someone else's marriage. At least when I made vows, I kept them. Jason stood up abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. For a second, I thought he was going to hit me. But he just stood there, hands shaking, trying to control himself. Stay away from me, he said. Stay away from Claire. If I see you again... You'll what? I asked, not moving. Hit me? In front of witnesses? That'll look great when Claire's trying to make partner. I'm sure Henderson will love hearing about the senior account manager whose boyfriend threatens people in public. Jason's face went red. He picked up his beer and dumped it on the table. Not on me. He wasn't that stupid, but close enough to make his point. Then he walked out. The bartender came over with a towel. "You okay, man?" "Yeah," I said. "I'm great." Tuesday morning, I filed for divorce. Henry submitted the paperwork to the court and sent Claire a copy via certified mail. By noon, she'd called me 14 times. I didn't answer. At 2 p.m., she showed up at the house. "You actually did it," she said when I opened the door. "You actually filed." "Did you think I wouldn't?" I asked. She pushed past me into the house, her house too for now, and threw the divorce papers on the kitchen counter. "This is insane, Tom. We can work this out. We don't need to involve lawyers and courts." "We do," I said, "because you can't be trusted, because you've been lying for over a year, because you spent $47,000 of our money on your affair." "Our money?" she said. "I make twice what you make. That money was mine." "Joint account," I said. "Joint money. And I've got documentation of every dollar you spent on Jason, every hotel room, every dinner, every gift. My lawyer is very interested in showing that to a judge." Claire's expression shifted from angry to calculating. "What do you want?" "I want a fair divorce," I said. 50-50 split of assets. You keep your retirement accounts, I keep mine. We sell the house and split the proceeds. You pay your legal fees, I pay mine. Clean break." "That's it?" she asked. "That's it," I said. "Unless you try to fight me. Then I send the video to your parents, your boss, everyone." "That's blackmail," she said. "That's insurance," I said. "Sign the papers, agree to the terms, and the video stays private. Try to screw me, and everyone you know sees exactly who you are." She stared at me for a long moment. "I don't even recognize you anymore." "Good," I said, "because I don't recognize you either." She grabbed the papers and walked out. That night, Henry called. "She's agreed to mediation. Her lawyer says she'll accept your terms if you guarantee the video stays private. They want it in writing." "Tell them I'll sign a non-disclosure agreement," I said, "as long as she doesn't contest the divorce or try to claim more than 50%. "Done," Henry said. "This is moving faster than I expected. You must have really spooked her." "I just showed her the truth," I said. "Sometimes that's enough." The mediation took 3 weeks. Claire's lawyer tried to argue that I'd been controlling, that I'd violated her privacy, that the video was revenge porn. My lawyer calmly explained that revenge porn required nudity, which the video didn't have, and that documenting a spouse's affair wasn't illegal. We settled on exactly what I'd proposed: 50-50 split, each keeping our own retirement accounts, house sold, and proceeds divided. I signed an agreement promising never to share or distribute the video. Claire signed an agreement accepting the terms. During the final mediation session, Claire and I sat across a conference table while lawyers shuffled papers. "I never meant for it to end like this," Claire said quietly. "How did you think it would end?" I asked. She didn't answer. "You were going to leave me after the Jenkins deal," I said. "You and Jason were going to be partners at the firm. You'd already planned your exit. I just accelerated the timeline." "I was going to tell you," she said. "No," I said. "You were going to blindside me. Let me find out from a lawyer or a note on the counter. You weren't going to give me the respect of honesty." "And you gave me respect by sending that video to everyone?" she asked. "I sent it to Rachel," I said. "One person. The person who deserved to know her boyfriend was cheating on her, just like I deserved to know." The lawyers cleared their throats. "Are we ready to sign?" We signed. Walking out of the building, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Free. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "This is Rachel, Jason's ex. I don't know if you'll see this, but I wanted to say thank you. I'm sorry about your marriage. No one deserves what we went through. I hope you find something better." I texted back, "Thank you. I hope you do too." The house sold in 6 weeks. Claire moved out 3 days after mediation, taking her furniture and clothes and leaving the rest. I lived there alone until closing, packing up 7 years of marriage into boxes. I found the wedding photos in the back of a closet. Young Tom and young Claire, smiling at the camera, believing in forever. I threw them away. Henry called the day after closing. Final check cleared. Your half is in your account. How are you feeling? Relieved, I said. Good. You handled this better than most people would have. Kept your head, kept your cool, got what you deserved. Did I? I asked. What do you mean? I mean, did I get what I deserved, or did I just get revenge? Henry was quiet for a moment. Is there a difference? I don't know, I said. I hung up and looked around the empty house. No furniture, no pictures, no memories worth keeping. Just space. My phone buzzed. Rebecca. I heard about the divorce. I'm sorry, Tom. For what it's worth, you deserved better than how Claire treated you. I hope you find happiness. I didn't respond. 3 days later, I moved into a new apartment across town. 1 bedroom, high floor, no memories. I set up my computer equipment and started taking on new clients. Work was good. Work was easy. Work didn't require trust or emotion or any of the things that got you hurt. Weeks passed, then months. I didn't see Claire, didn't talk to her, didn't check her social media. She was gone, completely, like the last 7 years had been erased. One afternoon in October, I was getting coffee downtown when I saw Jason. He was alone, walking quickly, head down. He'd lost weight. He looked tired. He saw me and froze. We stood there on the sidewalk, 2 men who'd destroyed each other's lives in different ways. Tom, he said finally. Jason, I said. How have you been? He asked, which was possibly the stupidest question anyone had ever asked me. Good, I said. You? I left the firm, he said. Too awkward after everything. I'm at a startup now. And Claire? I don't know, he said. We don't talk. She's still there. Made partner, actually. She got what she wanted. Good for her, I said. Jason shifted his weight. Look, I know this doesn't matter now, but I am sorry. About Rachel, about you, about all of it. I made a lot of bad choices. Yeah, I said. You did. For what it's worth, Claire and I weren't good together. She was using me as much as I was using her. We both wanted the partnership more than we wanted each other. That's what happens when you build a relationship on lies, I said. I guess, Jason said. I hope you're doing okay. Really. I looked at him. This man who'd helped destroy my marriage, who'd spent 14 months lying to everyone, who'd lost his girlfriend and his job and his future, and I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just emptiness. I'm fine, I said. Good luck with the startup. I walked away and didn't look back. November brought cold weather and shorter days. I fell into a routine. Work, gym, sleep. No dating, no socializing, no complications. Then one Thursday evening, my doorbell rang. I opened it to find Emily, Claire's sister, standing in the hallway. We'd never been close. She'd always thought I wasn't good enough for Claire, but she looked uncomfortable, like she didn't want to be here. Emily, I said, what's going on? Can I come in? She asked. I let her inside. She sat on my couch, hands clasped in her lap. I heard about the divorce, she said. I know it's been months, but I wanted to talk to you. About what? I asked. About what happened. About Claire. Emily took a breath. I saw the video. I went cold. How? Claire showed me. She was crying, trying to explain herself. She said you'd threatened to send it to everyone if she didn't agree to your terms. Emily looked at me. Tom, I need you to know something. I don't blame you for what you did. I sat down across from her. You don't? No, she said. Claire made her choices. She hurt you. She lied to everyone. And when I saw that video, When I saw how she acted at that wedding, how she talked about your marriage like it was a joke. Emily shook her head. I was ashamed of her. I still am. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because Claire's been telling people you're crazy, that you stalked her, that you manipulated her into the divorce. And I wanted you to know that not everyone believes her. I know what really happened. I know she's lying. Thank you, I said quietly. She's miserable, by the way, Emily said. Made partner, but she's alone. Jason's gone. Her friends are distant. She got everything she thought she wanted and she's still empty. That's not my problem anymore, I said. I know, Emily said. But I thought you should know that what you did, exposing her, making her face consequences, it was right. She needed to understand that actions have consequences. Our parents raised her to think she could have everything without sacrifice. You taught her different. She stood up. Anyway, I just wanted to say that, and to apologize for how I treated you over the years. You were always good to Claire, better than she deserved. After Emily left, I sat in the dark apartment, thinking about consequences and revenge, and whether there was really a difference between justice and cruelty. I didn't have an answer. December came, the city filled with holiday lights and crowds and couples holding hands. I spent Christmas alone, which was fine, better than pretending. On New Year's Eve, Rebecca called. Tom, I know we haven't talked in a while, she said, but I wanted to check on you, make sure you're okay. I'm okay, I said. Are you really? She asked. Or are you just surviving? What's the difference? I asked. One has a future, she said. Listen, I know what Claire did was horrible. I know you had every right to do what you did. But Tom, you can't let what happened with her define the rest of your life. You can't let her take everything from you. She didn't take everything, I said. I'm fine. You're alone, Rebecca said gently. And I get it. I get why. But at some point, you have to decide if you're going to stay angry or if you're going to move forward. I'm not angry, I said. Then what are you? She asked. I thought about it. Empty. Rebecca was quiet for a moment. That's worse than angry, Tom. Angry means you still feel something. Empty means you've shut down. Maybe that's safer, I said. Maybe, she said, but it's not living. We talked for another 20 minutes about nothing important, and when we hung up, I looked around my apartment, clean, organized, devoid of personality, and wondered if she was right. January brought an unexpected email. It was from William Henderson, CEO of Claire and Jason's former firm. The subject line read, Consultation Opportunity. I opened it. Tom, we've never met formally, but I'm aware of your work in network security. Our firm recently experienced a data breach, and we're looking for someone to assess our systems and implement better protocols. Your name came up in our search. Would you be interested in discussing a contract? Please let me know your availability. Best, William Henderson. I stared at the email for a long time. This was Claire's world, her firm, her territory. Taking this job would mean seeing her, working near her, existing in the same space after everything that had happened. The smart thing would be to decline. Move on. Keep the distance. But another part of me, the part that had planned the revenge, that had documented everything, that had made Claire face consequences, wanted to walk into that building with my head high and show everyone that I'd survived. I replied, William, I'd be happy to discuss the project. I'm available this week. Tom. We met Friday afternoon at the firm's downtown office. Henderson was exactly what I expected. Sharp suit, firm handshake, the kind of confidence that came from 30 years of success. Tom, thanks for coming in, he said. I'll be direct. We had a breach last month. Client data was compromised. Nothing catastrophic, but enough to shake confidence. We need someone who can find the vulnerability and fix it. I can do that, I said. Good, Henderson said. Now, I'm aware of your personal history with some of our employees, specifically Claire Brennan. Will that be a problem? No, I said. Ancient history. Glad to hear it, Henderson said. Claire's a valuable partner here. I don't want any drama that affects business. There won't be, I said. He studied me. She says you threatened her during the divorce. Blackmailed her with some video. I had evidence of her affair with Jason Parker, I said calmly. I used it to ensure a fair divorce settlement. Nothing illegal, nothing dramatic, just documentation. Henderson nodded slowly. Jason doesn't work here anymore. Chose to leave after things got complicated. Claire stayed. She's focused on work now. I expect you to be equally professional. I will be, I said. We shook hands. The contract was $60,000 for 3 months of work. I signed it. Monday morning, I walked into the building where Claire had spent years building her career, where she'd fallen in love with Jason, where she'd planned to leave me. I rode the elevator to the 7th floor and set up my equipment in a small office near the server room. At 11, Claire walked past. She saw me and stopped. Tom, she said. Her voice was flat, controlled. What are you doing here? Working, I said. Henderson hired me to fix your security breach. Her face went pale. You can't be here. I can, I said. I signed a contract. Check with Henderson if you want. This is my workplace, she said. And now it's mine too, I said. For 3 months. We're both adults. We can handle it. She stood there, torn between making a scene and walking away. Finally, she walked away. Over the next few weeks, I saw her occasionally in hallways, in meetings with Henderson, in the break room. We didn't speak. We barely made eye contact. But I felt her watching me, wondering what I was thinking, whether I was planning something. I wasn't. I was just working. But she didn't know that. 6 weeks into the contract, I found the source of the breach. It wasn't sophisticated, just a phishing email that had tricked someone into giving up their credentials. The vulnerability was human error, not system failure. I wrote a detailed report and scheduled a meeting with Henderson to present my findings. The meeting was in the main conference room. Henderson was there, along with 3 other senior partners, and Claire. She sat at the far end of the table, her face professionally neutral, but I saw the tension in her shoulders. I presented the report, the breach source, the compromised data, the steps needed to prevent future incidents. It was straightforward, technical, boring. Afterward, Henderson thanked me. Excellent work, Tom. We'll implement these changes immediately. One more thing, I said. I'd recommend mandatory security training for all employees. Human error is your biggest vulnerability. Technology can only protect you if people use it correctly. Agreed, Henderson said. Claire, you'll coordinate that with HR? Claire nodded. Of course. The meeting ended. Everyone filed out except Claire and me. You did good work, she said quietly. Henderson's impressed. Thank you, I said. Is this why you took the job? She asked. To prove something? To show you could succeed in my world? No, I said. I took it because it was a good contract, because I'm good at what I do, because I needed the money, that's all. I don't believe you, she said. I don't care, I said. She looked at me, really looked at me, and something in her expression cracked. Tom, I know I hurt you. I know I was wrong. But do you have to keep punishing me? Do you have to keep showing up in my life? I'm not punishing you, I said. I'm living my life. If that makes you uncomfortable, that's not my problem. You've changed, she said. You used to be kind. I used to be stupid, I said. I used to think loyalty and honesty mattered. You taught me different. So this is who you are now? She asked. Cold? Calculating? Cruel? No, I said. This is who I became after you destroyed who I was. I left her standing there and walked out. The contract ended in late March. I submitted my final report, collected my payment, and prepared to leave. On my last day, Henderson called me into his office. Tom, I wanted to thank you personally, he said. You did exceptional work. The breach is resolved, the new protocols are in place, and the team is better trained. I'd like to offer you a permanent position. I blinked. Permanent? Head of IT security, he said. Competitive salary, full benefits, equity options. We need someone with your skills full-time. That's generous, I said, but I'm not sure it's the right fit. Because of Claire? Henderson asked. Partly, I said. Henderson leaned back in his chair. Between you and me, Claire's been struggling. Her work is still excellent, but she's distracted, isolated. The other partners have noticed. I think seeing you here these past few months has been difficult for her. Then hiring me permanently would make that worse, I said. Maybe, Henderson said. Or maybe it would force her to move on, to stop dwelling on the past. Either way, I'm not going to let personal history prevent me from hiring the best person for the job. Think about it. Take a week. Let me know. I shook his hand and left. Walking out of the building for what might be the last time, I felt conflicted. The job was good, the money was excellent, but working in the same building as Claire, seeing her every day, existing in her space, was that moving forward, or was it just a different kind of revenge? I didn't know. That night, I called Henry. Legal question, I said. If I take a job at my ex-wife's firm, can she claim harassment or hostile work environment? Did you take the job to harass her? Henry asked. No, I said. They offered it to me legitimately. I did good work. They want to hire me. Then no, Henry said. She can't claim anything unless you actually harass her. If you're professional, if you do your job, if you leave her alone, there's no case. You have as much right to work there as she does. Even though it's uncomfortable for her? I asked. Her comfort isn't your responsibility anymore, Henry said. You're divorced. You don't owe her anything. If the job is good, take it. I thanked him and hung up. Then I made my decision. I declined the job. I emailed Henderson. Thank you for the generous offer. After careful consideration, I've decided to continue with freelance consulting. It's a better fit for my current goals. I wish you and the firm continued success. He responded within an hour. Disappointed, but I understand. Doors always open if you change your mind. That should have been the end of it. But 2 days later, Claire called. I heard you turned down Henderson's offer, she said. I did, I said. Why? She asked. None of your business, I said. Tom, please, just tell me why. I sighed. Because I'm tired, Claire. I'm tired of revenge. I'm tired of anger. I'm tired of seeing you and remembering everything that happened. I just want to move on, and I can't do that if I'm working in the same building as you. She was quiet for a long moment. Thank you. For what? I asked. For being the bigger person, she said. For choosing peace over revenge. I know you didn't have to. I know you could have taken that job just to make my life harder, but you didn't. I didn't do it for you, I said. I did it for me, because I want to be happy more than I want to hurt you. Are you happy? She asked. I'm getting there, I said. Good, she said. You deserve that. You deserve better than what I gave you. Yeah, I said. I do. We hung up. It wasn't closure. It wasn't forgiveness. It was just acknowledgement that we'd both hurt each other, that we'd both survived, that we were both moving forward in different directions, and that was enough. Spring turned to summer. I took on new clients, built a better routine, started saying yes to social invitations instead of hiding in my apartment. Rebecca invited me to a barbecue in June. I almost declined, but then I remembered what she'd said. Empty means you've shut down. I went. The barbecue was at her house, full of people I half knew from before the divorce. They were awkward around me at first, unsure what to say, but after a few beers, the conversation flowed easier. Tom, there's someone I want you to meet, Rebecca said, pulling me toward a woman standing by the grill. This is Sarah. She works with my husband. Sarah, this is Tom. Sarah smiled. She had kind eyes and an easy laugh. We talked about nothing important. Work, the weather, the terrible traffic, and it felt normal. Good. At the end of the night, she asked for my number. Maybe we could get coffee sometime? Yeah, I said. I'd like that. Driving home, I felt something I hadn't felt in over a year. Possibility. Sarah and I got coffee the following week. Then dinner, then a movie. Nothing serious, nothing intense. Just two people getting to know each other without baggage or history or betrayal. One night over dinner, she asked, "So what's your story? Rebecca mentioned you were married before." I was, I said. It ended badly. How badly? She asked. I considered lying, keeping it vague, but something about Sarah made me want to be honest. My wife had an affair with her coworker, I said. For over a year. I found out, documented everything, and used it to secure a fair divorce. I also sent evidence to the guy's girlfriend because she deserved to know. It got messy. People got hurt. But I don't regret it. Sarah nodded slowly. That must have been awful. It was, I said. But it taught me something important. What's that? She asked. That I'd rather be alone than be with someone who doesn't value me, I said. That self-respect matters more than comfort. That honesty, real honesty, is the foundation of everything. I agree, Sarah said. For what it's worth, I think you handled it better than most people would have. You didn't get violent. You didn't do anything illegal. You just made sure the truth came out. Some people would say I was cruel, I said. Some people would say your wife was cruel, Sarah said. You just evened the scales. We kept seeing each other, slowly, carefully, without pressure. She had her own life, her own goals, her own independence. She didn't need me to fix her or save her or complete her. She just liked spending time with me. It was refreshing. Epilogue. That isn't an epilogue. 8 months after the divorce was finalized, I ran into Claire one last time. It was at a coffee shop downtown. I was meeting Sarah. Claire was alone, reading something on her laptop, a half-empty latte beside her. She looked up and saw me. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she stood and walked over. Tom, she said. Claire, I said. How are you? She asked. Good, I said. Really good, actually. You? I'm okay, she said. Working a lot, made partner, so that's something. Congratulations, I said, and I meant it. I heard you're seeing someone, she said. Rebecca mentioned it. I am, I said. Sarah. She's great. Claire smiled, but it was sad. I'm happy for you, really. Thank you, I said. We stood there awkwardly, two people who used to know everything about each other and now knew nothing. Tom, I know I already said this, but I am sorry, Claire said. For everything. I was selfish and cruel, and I hurt you in ways I can't take back. You deserved better. I did, I said. But it's over now. We're both moving forward, that's all that matters. Yeah, she said. I guess so. Sarah walked in then, smiling when she saw me. I introduced them briefly. Claire, this is Sarah. Sarah, this is Claire, my ex-wife. They shook hands politely. Sarah's grip was firm, confident. Claire's was hesitant. Nice to meet you, Sarah said. You too, Claire said. Claire looked at me one more time. Take care of yourself, Tom. You too, I said. She walked back to her table. Sarah and I sat down on the opposite side of the cafe. That was her? Sarah asked. That was her, I said. She looks sad, Sarah observed. Yeah, I said. She does. Do you still love her? Sarah asked. It wasn't accusatory, just curious. No, I said, and I realized it was true. I don't love her. I don't hate her. I just... Nothing. She's a stranger now. Good, Sarah said, and squeezed my hand across the table. We ordered our coffee and talked about our plans for the weekend. Behind us, Claire sat alone with her laptop and her success and her regrets. I didn't look back. I'd spent enough time looking back. Now I was looking forward, and forward looked pretty damn good. 3 months after that coffee shop encounter, I got a call from an unknown number. "Tom Brennan?" a woman's voice asked. "Speaking," I said. "This is Amanda Chen from Pacific Legal. I'm representing Jason Parker in a lawsuit against Claire Brennan. Your name came up in discovery. I was hoping we could talk." I sat down. "What kind of lawsuit?" "Mr. Parker is suing Ms. Brennan for intentional interference with his relationship with Rachel Martinez. He claims Ms. Brennan knowingly pursued him despite being aware he was in a committed relationship, and that her actions directly caused the dissolution of that relationship. We understand you have documentation of their affair." "I do," I said carefully, "but I'm not interested in getting involved in more legal drama." "Mr. Brennan, I understand your reluctance, but this isn't about revenge. Ms. Martinez, Rachel, has suffered significant emotional distress. She's in therapy. She lost 2 years to a man who was lying to her. Mr. Parker wants to hold Ms. Brennan accountable for her role in that deception." "Jason was equally responsible," I said. "He cheated too." "We're aware," Amanda said. "But Ms. Brennan was the married party. She had more to lose and pursued the relationship anyway. She made calculated choices. We believe a jury would be sympathetic to Ms. Martinez's situation." I thought about Rachel, the woman who'd texted me, who'd thanked me for telling her the truth, who'd lost 2 years to a lie. "What do you need from me?" I asked. "Testimony, documentation, the video you showed Ms. Martinez, anything that establishes the timeline and nature of the affair." "I signed a non-disclosure agreement during my divorce," I said. "I can't share the video without violating that agreement." "We can subpoena it," Amanda said. "A court order would override your NDA. You wouldn't be violating anything. You'd be complying with a legal requirement." I rubbed my temples. "Let me think about it." "Of course," Amanda said. "But Tom, Ms. Brennan hurt a lot of people. Not just you. Not just Mr. Parker. Rachel deserves her day in court. That's all we're asking for." She gave me her number and hung up. I sat there for a long time, staring at my phone. Sarah came over that evening. I told her about the call. "What are you going to do?" she asked. "I don't know," I said. "Part of me wants to help Rachel. She deserves justice. But another part of me just wants to be done with all of this. I've moved on. Why drag myself back into Claire's mess?" "Because it's not about Claire," Sarah said quietly. "It's about Rachel. And maybe it's about making sure Claire finally faces real consequences. Not just personal ones, legal ones." "You think I should do it?" I asked. "I think you should do whatever lets you sleep at night," Sarah said. "But yeah, if it were me, I'd help Rachel. She didn't ask for any of this. She's an innocent victim." I called Amanda the next morning. "I'll cooperate, but I want Rachel to know I'm doing this for her, not against Claire." "I'll make sure she knows," Amanda said. 2 weeks later, I received a subpoena. The video, the photos, the financial records, everything I'd used to secure my divorce was now evidence in Jason's lawsuit against Claire. Claire's lawyer called me immediately. "Tom, what the hell are you doing? You signed an NDA. You can't share that material." "I'm not sharing it," I said. "I'm complying with a court order. There's a difference." "You're violating the spirit of our agreement," he said. "Your client violated the spirit of our marriage," I said. "Tell her to settle. Tell her to make this right with Rachel, or tell her to prepare for everyone to see exactly who she is." He hung up. The lawsuit moved slowly. Discovery, depositions, delays. I gave my deposition in July. 4 hours of questions about the affair, the timeline, what I'd observed, what I'd documented. Claire's lawyer tried to paint me as vindictive, obsessed, controlling. My answers were calm, factual, devastating. "Mr. Brennan, isn't it true you tracked your wife's location without her knowledge?" "I tracked our shared car's location using a GPS service we both subscribed to." She had access to the same information about my location. She simply never checked. You went through her phone without permission. I checked messages on a phone connected to our shared family account. There was no password protection. She left it on the kitchen counter. You sent intimate footage to Mr. Parker's girlfriend with the intention of destroying their relationship. I sent footage of my wife kissing another man to that man's girlfriend because she deserved to know she was being lied to, just like I deserved to know. The lawyer couldn't shake me. I'd lived with this truth for too long. I knew every detail, every date, every dollar spent. When Rachel gave her deposition, Amanda sent me excerpts. Rachel described the betrayal, the therapy, the trust issues that had followed her into new relationships. She talked about the 2 years she'd lost, the future she'd planned with Jason, the humiliation of learning through a stranger's email that everything had been a lie. Reading her words, I felt the old anger return, not at Claire specifically, at the selfishness, at the casual cruelty of people who hurt others without thinking about consequences. In September, Claire's lawyers approached Amanda with a settlement offer. $50,000 to Rachel, no admission of guilt, case dismissed. Amanda called me. What do you think? It's not my decision, I said. It's Rachel's. She wants to know what you think, Amanda said. She says you've been through this. You understand. I thought about it. $50,000 is a lot of money, but it's not justice. Claire walks away again. She pays some cash and moves on. Rachel gets money but no acknowledgement of the harm that was done. That's what I told her, Amanda said. But, I continued, going to trial means months more of this, reliving it, public testimony, media attention maybe. Rachel has to decide if vindication is worth the cost. She's leaning toward trial, Amanda said. She wants Claire to admit what she did, publicly, on the record. Then I support her, I said. The trial was scheduled for November. October brought an unexpected complication. I was having dinner with Sarah when my phone rang. It was Emily, Claire's sister. Tom, I need to talk to you, she said. Her voice was tight, stressed. It's about Claire. What about her? I asked. She's falling apart. The lawsuit, the publicity, the depositions. It's destroying her. She's drinking heavily, missing work. Her therapist is worried about her mental state. I'm sorry to hear that, I said. And I was, sort of. But I don't know what you want me to do about it. Drop the lawsuit, Emily said. Tell Jason and Rachel you won't testify. Without your testimony, they don't have a case. It's not my lawsuit to drop, I said. And Emily, with respect, Claire made her choices. She hurt people. Now she's facing consequences. That's how it works. She could hurt herself, Tom, Emily said, and her voice cracked. I'm scared for her. She's talking about how she's lost everything, how everyone hates her, how she's become the villain in everyone's story. She is the villain in some people's stories, I said, including mine, including Rachel's. So, you're going to destroy her completely? Emily asked. Even if it pushes her over the edge. I felt Sarah watching me, her expression concerned. Emily, I'm not trying to destroy Claire, I said. I'm just telling the truth. If she can't handle the truth, that's not my fault. That's hers. She should have thought about consequences before she spent 14 months lying to everyone. You've changed, Emily said. You used to be compassionate. I used to be a doormat, I said. There's a difference. I'm sorry Claire's struggling. I genuinely am. But I'm not going to let her emotional state manipulate me into protecting her from accountability. That's exactly what she's counting on. That's what she's always counted on. People feeling sorry for her and giving her a pass. Emily was quiet for a moment. If something happens to her, Tom, you'll have to live with that. If something happens to her, that's her choice, I said. Not mine. I didn't make her have an affair. I didn't make her lie. I didn't make her hurt people. She did that, and now she has to deal with it like an adult. Emily hung up. Sarah reached across the table and took my hand. That was hard. Yeah, I said. But it was true. Claire's had people covering for her, excusing her, protecting her from consequences her whole life. That's why she thought she could do whatever she wanted. Someone had to finally say no. Do you think she's actually in danger? Sarah asked. I don't know, I said honestly. Maybe. But I can't let that be my responsibility. I can't let the fear of what she might do control my actions. That's emotional hostage-taking. Sarah nodded. You're right. But it's still hard. Everything about this has been hard, I said. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Emily's call, about Claire falling apart, about whether I was doing the right thing. At 2 a.m, I got up and wrote an email to Amanda. Check with Rachel about Claire's mental state. If there's genuine concern about safety, maybe we revisit settlement. Not because Claire deserves it, because Rachel deserves peace more than she deserves revenge. Let me know. I sent it, and finally fell asleep. Amanda called the next day. I talked to Rachel. She says if Claire's really in crisis, she's open to settlement, but on different terms. Claire has to publicly apologize, has to admit what she did, has to acknowledge the harm, and the settlement goes up to $75,000. Plus Claire pays all legal fees. That's fair, I said. I presented it to Claire's lawyers this morning, Amanda said. They're discussing it with her. The response came 2 days later. Claire agreed to everything. The settlement was signed in a conference room downtown. I wasn't there. I wasn't a party to the lawsuit. But Amanda sent me the written apology Claire had to provide. It read, I, Claire Brennan, acknowledge that I engaged in a romantic relationship with Jason Parker while married to Tom Brennan, and while knowing Jason was in a committed relationship with Rachel Martinez. My actions were selfish, dishonest, and caused significant harm to both Tom and Rachel. I apologize to Rachel for the pain I caused her. I take full responsibility for my choices and the consequences that followed. I am committed to being a better person going forward. It wasn't eloquent, it wasn't particularly heartfelt, but it was public, it was on the record, and it was an admission. Rachel called me after the signing. Tom, thank you for everything, for telling me the truth, for testifying, for supporting me through this. You deserve justice, I said. I'm glad you got some version of it. $75,000 and an apology isn't really justice, Rachel said. But it's acknowledgement, and that matters. It does, I agreed. How are you doing? She asked. Really? I'm good, I said. I've moved on. I'm seeing someone wonderful. I'm happy. Good, Rachel said. You deserve that. We both do. After we hung up, I forwarded the apology to Henry, my divorce lawyer. He called me immediately. Tom, this is significant. Claire's admission here could reopen your divorce settlement. You could argue she committed fraud during mediation by not fully disclosing the financial impact of the affair. You could potentially get more money. No, I said. I'm done. The divorce is over. I got what I needed. I don't want to spend another year fighting over money. You sure? Henry asked. We're talking potentially 6 figures. I'm sure, I said. Some things are worth more than money, like peace, like moving forward, like being done. Henry laughed. You've matured, Tom. Most people can't walk away from potential money. Most people haven't been through what I've been through, I said. I'm done fighting. I won. Not because I got money or revenge, because I got free.